Okay.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ashby Bridge. I know we had a week off last week, so I'm hoping that you're ready for this week. This week is kind of fun, and it takes on the whole idea of your personal image when you go out into society. A lot of us have our own style, what we like to wear, and it makes us feel good, but it might not always be something that might be appropriate to the event or the meeting or the interview that you're going to. So, my dear friend and coach, Renee, is here to have a conversation back and forth so you can understand better what might allow your outfits, your comfort level, be jazzed up a little bit or jazzed down if you're overdressed, so that you can go into society and feel comfortable, that you're not sticking out like that red, white, and blue outfit that you might love to wear. We know how to tone it down. Or if you're in that basic jeans and t-shirt and everybody's dressed up, how to bring it upscale a little bit. So Renee and I have had a wonderful conversation in the past all about how to help you know what's the right thing to wear. But we're not fixing you. We're just helping you come up with ideas on how to take what you already own and maybe minimalize it a little bit if you're overwhelmed, but to really get that idea. But before we go that, with all the awesome autistics that are out in the world, level one particularly, who are telling you what the traits of autism are, such as Paul Micallef in Australia, or Ryan Kelly in Australia, Sam Stein in the Netherlands, Sarah Hendricks in the UK, Temple Grandin here in the US, and so many others that are on YouTube telling you what the traits of autism are. I wanted to take a different spin with the Ashby Bridge. I want to connect you, the listener, with each of my wonderful bridge builders. And what they do is when you have a special life challenge that you want answers to, I connect you with these individuals. And Renee is here to help you with your creating that right image for that right opportunity. Others have had so many other challenges, so many other zones of expertise. But the Ashby Bridge is to connect you to receive the best resources, because most of us who are late diagnosed never got those resources. So I figured that having bridge builders gave you that free opportunity to ask a coach and get some help where you need it without feeling like you were going to be changed, because there's nothing wrong with you. And without further ado, Renee, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what brought you to the Ashby Bridge and what brings you to life?
Well, thank you, Suzanne, for inviting me to be here. I appreciate this so much. I have known people who have been on the spectrum my entire life. And as a person who didn't understand that until later, because words didn't come out to express this until, the 80s, 90s, when it became more commonplace, right? So anyway, it has helped me understand people throughout my life. I have relatives, I have friends, and I'm just grateful for Suzanne to give me the opportunity to help you with this one little area of your life. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a transformational life coach, and I love helping people become a better version of themselves. One little thing at a time. It does not happen quickly. I'm very heart-centered. I inspire people with my passionate commitment to help you grow from the inside out. When I'm teaching or I am in front of a group of people, tell stories, and I want people to have a crystal clear vision of what they want. So tonight, our crystal clear vision that we need to come up with, or today, whenever you happen to be watching this, is how can I dress for success and not necessarily get dressed up? Kind of what we're talking about here, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about. I just want you to know that I have done many things in my life. I've been a daughter, a wife, a mother, and a wife again, and So, been through a lot of struggles in my life as well and have come out on the other side of them. So, thank you so much for Suzanne having me here. And I hope somebody takes something away from this that they can embrace and be wonderful with. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. That is going to make them feel so comfortable because we all wear different hats and we all go to different events. And that is why it's so
Yes.
important. We're going to start out with a little bit of science first, just because I know that there are some hypersensitivities that you may have to wearing different kinds of clothing. Now, for me, the touch, the feel of lace on my arms, or a ribbed shirt, or pantyhose. Ladies who are going to business meetings and interviews, no, you don't have to wear stockings to an interview. There are other ways to get around your comfort level. We are already anxious during an interview. Why would you want to put on some pantyhose stockings when you're already feeling nervous? So what Renee and I are going to help you with is maybe finding that pantsuit and that nice pair of shoes versus the pantyhose and the stilettos. You don't have to wear those things to get the job. You just have to feel comfortable enough to answer the questions. So I don't know about any of you. Renee, do you have a fabric that you just can't even stand for 5 minutes?
I don't like things that are itchy on my skin. Okay. So while the outside can be smooth, the inside, sometimes the linings are itchy. All right. And so I don't like that. I know some of you can relate to that. The other thing I don't like is I don't really like tags. You know how the tags stick up and get in the back of your neck. I don't care for tags. So I like to have tagless clothing, or I cut the tags out of my clothes because I find that that makes me more comfortable. And some of you can relate to that as well too.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. We are definitely a tagless demographic of people for sure. I like it when they print the label right on the fabric itself rather
Yes.
than having that extra piece of that just can stick in every which direction. So, hypersensitivity, you have to know yourself. We're all different. For me, when I got married, the idea of having a lace arm or anything, any lace, was going to make my wedding day fall apart because I was not going to be comfortable. And I got married in August, so forget about the pantyhose, and my shoes were flats when I got married. These are all things that you have to take into your own understanding, but that doesn't mean you dress down necessarily. You want to look pretty for your wedding. You want to look appropriate for that interview. You want to not stick out so much with that flamboyant outfit, but at the same time, you still want your identity. So it's a fine line, isn't it?
It
It's a very
is absolutely. Yes.
so before we get into that, let's also talk about the idea that sometimes we as autistics don't feel pain, which means that we don't always feel hot or cold. And now, while I wouldn't necessarily go out with a t-shirt and pair of shorts in the winter, I know that some people aren't quite familiar with what's the right outfit. And what I want to say is you want to maybe have 3 different kinds of outfits that your arms aren't, you're not going out feeling like what was it, the Michelin. uh, you're not so bulked up that you can't move, is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to have so many layers on that you're like, okay, I'm out here, but now what? I can't move. You still have to be comfortable going outside in any weather. Just like was reading an article the other day where a little boy who was autistic had a certain pattern of the clothes he put on every day before he went outside. So here it is 90 degrees and he's putting on his coat because that was the system. Now, we all know that there are some nice little summer jackets you can put on. So maybe having a hanger that says this degrees, and you can teach your son, your child, your adult that may be a little confused. If the weather says this number, this is what you wear. If the weather says this number, this is the coat you wear. If the weather says this is the outfit you wear. And that way they're still keeping their routine, but you're changing up the type of coat rather than saying, no, don't wear that. That's just going to confuse them. What do you think of that idea?
I can totally get where you're coming from with that, and that makes sense. But I can also see where if a person is used to putting on this coat and you tell them that's nice, but you need this one today, that can be confusing and very disruptive if they are extremely pattern oriented, which some people are. Some people can adjust, others can't. But let me give you guys all a suggestion on something that I have found that works very well most of the year. Well, in Texas where I live, okay? It's not necessarily this way up north if you're in the cold, but I have a nice quality jean jacket, which is cotton, okay? It's a cotton jean jacket. And I have found that I can wear that almost year round. So you can dress up a jean jacket, you can dress it down. I can wear it with sweatpants, I can wear it with dress pants and a shirt or a small sweater or something like that. So just an idea, you might consider getting a one that feels really good. And I will tell you, I got mine at Kohl's years ago and I love it. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but that might be an option to not have to have 2 or 3 coats for those people who prefer to have just one.
That's right. That's right. A perfect example. I love that jean jacket. We're going to come back to that jean jacket very shortly. Before I go too far, one of the things that we want to be careful with, and maybe you can take a friend or someone you trust into your closet and try on some of your different clothing. If you're feeling like the elbows are too tight and you can't move and that's not a comfortable feeling, get rid of it. There's no reason to have a closet full of clothes because everybody else does. And that's a big thing. You want to say, okay, for instance, I love this fleece jacket. I have a lot of room in it. I'm not feeling like I'm bunched up. I'm not feeling like I can't move. So find that one overcoat, over jacket. And that's a great way to dress up. A t-shirt. I have just a t-shirt on. But what a difference a nice fleece jacket can make to that t-shirt. Now you're not just going out on a Saturday afternoon. You now can go to a nice dinner. You now can go and meet up with a bunch of friends to have maybe a picnic or something. You're not feeling like, oh, maybe I'm underdressed. And I like the jean jacket idea because maybe you're the type of person on the reverse that wants to get all dressed up. But you're just going to the picnic with a bunch of friends. Think of what a jean jacket over a dress can do. It allows you to have that cotton dress on, and the jean jacket is just like that comfort that can dress it down a little bit if you're feeling like your dress is too gonna scream, here I am, and you don't want to be, here you are. Have you ever put a jean jacket over a dress and just kind of, how does that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely get where you're going with that. And so you've got this favorite dress.
Oh, I just lost you.
So Suzanne, talking about that jean jacket over a dress when you're going to a picnic. So here's something that you can think about too. If you really like that real floral dress, okay, but you feel like it may be a little bit too much, or you've got a floral skirt and a plain colored top, and you just want to kind of casual it down, the jean jacket is a great idea, okay, or a sweater, but a jean jacket, and you can get even sleeveless jean jackets. If you haven't ever seen that before, That's a great thing to do with summer. Short sleeve t-shirt that you like, material that you like, and a jean jacket and a skirt or a pair of shorts or something. That works out perfect. But I grabbed my jean jacket real quick just to show you. See, it's a very simple jean jacket, right? Okay.
Mhm.
This goes over so much. I have started wearing that with so many things, and it's really a couple sizes too big for me, which is fine, absolutely fine, because it's not too tight. This is 100% cotton. It's really easy to wear, and it looks good. Okay, no matter what I have it with. I have wore it with a little black dress because I needed a jacket. I wear it with sweatpants and a hoodie in the wintertime. So it works out fine. So this is just a nice option, and they are not expensive, terribly expensive. And you can even find them at thrift shops. So consider that too.
That's right. That's right. That also brought up the point to me that, hey, maybe you're a woman that's a little bit larger and you just don't want to show your size. Maybe in the men's department they have a jean a shirt that has buttons on it. And now you're not necessarily, maybe you're someone who really gets really hot. Maybe you could go into the men's department and find a denim
Sure.
shirt that you can put
Mhm.
on. Don't button it up as if you would, and just put it on as an accessory. And don't forget, you can also buy a nice scarf. You just put it around your neck. You don't tie it because I know a lot of you don't like that feeling on your neck. You're just gonna flip up your collar, put it on, and it just drapes. And that's a wonderful way just to accessorize something that might not give you the coloring that you want. I know some of us, I mean, if you can see the pattern in my jacket here, I like patterns. But at the same time, I don't know about you, Renee. I had to help some people know that you can't wear a pattern top and a pattern bottom, a different pattern bottom. I can't tell you the number of times I've helped people like, try a solid pair of pants with that. Or if they're wearing a pattern pair of pants, a solid color denim top. And I know a lot of you were never taught this. A lot of you were like, "Oh, she got herself dressed. What's the matter?" Well, there comes a time when, yes, your identity is important, but there are also times when you want to know the appropriate place to wear that fun outfit. And when you're going to a picnic, you can be loose, you can be yourself. But what about interviews, Renee? What if you tend to be a flamboyant dresser? And when I say flamboyant, let me be more careful. You like things that have a lot of patterns. You like things that may not have soft, muted tones. They're more, here I am yelling, fluorescent. What about an interview? What can you help these wonderful people that like to have colorful clothes understand about going to an interview? Because a lot of them do need to know that while they're not going to be judged on what they're wearing, it can detract, can it not?
Yeah, and that's a very good question and a very good point to bring up. So, while I mentioned a while ago that I am a coach, at the current moment, I do still work full time. My field is in HR. I do a lot of interviews a year. I'm talking over 100. Okay. So I see different outfits and I see different things. So yes, when you go to an interview, you want to be remembered, but you don't want to be remembered about the person that came in the pink and purple outfit with the feathered hat. Okay. That is not the image you want. You want people to listen to you, and it's hard to do with this feather sticking out of your hat. And that is you. That's who you are. I understand that, but you're trying to get a job. Okay. And once you get a job, a little more of your personality can come out. So let me just give you an idea of something to wear or how to think when you're getting dressed for an interview. You want to think conservative. Okay. You want to think maybe dark pants and a blouse. I've got a sweater on, and I know a lot of you don't like a turtleneck like this, a mock turtleneck, but just something maybe that just has a little scoop to it. You don't want a lot. If you want something off your neck, do a little scoop. But this says, I'm here. Look at me, listen to me, not, hey, here's my clothing. What do you think? So, and another thing, let me just, when we're talking about interviews and you're talking about clothing, don't wear clothing that's dirty, okay? And don't wear clothing that is way too big for you or that you're swimming in or that you're constantly having to adjust, that detracts from you and what you bring to the table and what your skills are. So make sure you're comfortable, make sure that it's not holy and it's not dirty, and that it represents you in a professional way. You can wear your fun clothes outside, on the weekends at the picnic and when you go skating or whatever. So that's my suggestion on that.
That's excellent. Now let's get to the pants, because I know for me, and I know for a lot of you, that while blue jeans may feel too constricting, I wear a size extra, a little bit larger than I need. Or some of you may think that a yoga pair of pants. But what you want to do is you want to have something that is, as Renee said, black and sleek, not tight fitting, like you go to your yoga studio. But remember that you don't want any holes in any of your clothing, just like what Renee was saying with the dirty. Those new jeans that are in style with the holes in the knees, they're great for the summer barbecue, a summer picnic. Save them for then. We all hate doing laundry, so if you have an event coming up, that's the perfect time to wear those holy jeans. But you want to stick to your loose fitting pants. It could be a yoga pant. I know there's some stretchy pants that might look like that, but not anything that defines you. Nothing that defines you. Now, one of the tricks that I would say, let's say you have a pair of pants, they're nice and clean, they're really ready to go, but you're not quite sure, a lab coat might be a nice way to dress up that whole outfit. And then you could get away with your comfortable t-shirt to make you have confidence, then put the lab coat over it, especially if you can find a black one. I know for me, I have t-shirts, solid color t-shirts in every color. And so whatever your pants are, match it with a solid color t-shirt that feels comfortable, but then put on the lab coat over it. And that just says, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So let me just say something for those of you who love the yoga pants, you like the tight fitting compression because it feels really good. So think about this as an option, okay? If you just don't want to go without them, then wear them underneath a pair of dress pants or wear them underneath your jeans. Then you got that. Because I like the way they feel. I like the way they make me feel tight and they make me feel supported, and I don't feel like I'm jiggling all over the place. Okay. So I get that. And maybe you think about that. And maybe that helps keep you in your comfort zone, but yet keeps you in the appropriate attire.
Yeah, yeah. Very true. Very true. I know for me, Renee, anything that defines what my backside looks like, no, it's a no-go for me. That's not even a Walmart outfit for me. I'm staying home to chill out at home. And that's where you can get away with some of these clothings that you're just not sure. We're not going to call them wrong. I don't want to call it wrong because it's part of your identity, but we need to be a little bit concerned on what's in your closet that can really be a Saturday morning outfit versus a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to an interview. I want to look right, but still be comfortable.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
big difference there. And creating your wardrobe is a very important thing. I've seen people that have 50 clothes. I think even neurotypicals have 50 clothes, but how many clothes do you really wear?
Mhm.
How many clothes do you really wear? And for those of us who have trouble making a decision, you don't want 100 pieces of clothing if you only wear 6 or 7 on a regular basis. What do
Mhm.
you think about that, Renee? Do you find this like overwhelm?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think if you've ever seen some things on Facebook where it calls it a capsule wardrobe, and it shows like maybe 15 pieces of clothing and how to wear it in different ways, as opposed to the other stuff you had before that you only wore 10% of it anyway. But you might Google capsule wardrobe and just see what that looks like. You mix and match what you have more than you stuff your closet full of things. Not only that, but it'll save you some money because you won't be spending as much on clothing.
Excellent point. You can put that toward your special interest.
Yes, absolutely.
Always to make sure that we're putting our money in the right direction. So don't worry about maxing out your closet because your cousin Andrea did. You go and you do you.
Mhm.
You let Andrea have her full closet full of clothing.
Yep.
That's not who you are. You know what you like. Let's see what else I have on my, oh, layering cottons. Some of you love your cottons, but maybe it is winter and maybe you're like, I can't wear a sweater on top of my clothes. I just get too hot. Layering them. Maybe a t-shirt and then a blouse. If you don't like the idea of blouses, again, go back to that a little bit extra large lab coat idea, which you can get at the nursing supply stores in all sorts of fun colors too, if you really like colors. But it's a way to put on that extra warmth. Now, one of the things I was reading is kind of like if you think about if you've ever gone to a beach and you've seen those guys in March wear a long sleeve shirt and they're out surfing or swimming or whatever, and those outfits are linen. They let you breathe in the summer, but they give you insulation in the cooler months. And it's a linen long sleeve shirt. And that way, you're not going outside in the winter with a short sleeve shirt, and you're not going outside in the summer with a heavy coat. Try and put that into your repertoire. Is one long sleeve shirt that's made of linen that you can wear year round, and then put the denim jacket on top of it.
Yeah,
I really think that that's a great way to go.
great.
Let's looking through. Oh, all right. We were talking about communication, Renee. And one of the things that if you're a caregiver to an autistic individual, don't say to them, we're going to buy this outfit, but you can't wear it until the activity or the event happens.
Mhm.
What I like to try and tell people is go ahead and buy that new item that you're saving for an event, but wear it once or twice before the event so you can see how you feel in it.
That's great advice because you may think on the rack when you touch it that you like it, but then once you get it on next to your skin, like I was saying, I don't like it for it to be itchy underneath me, right? I mean, so, and I think that's fabulous. And even if you just wear it around the house one day, you know, or you just run to the store in it real quick just to see how you feel. I think that's awesome because then you gain comfort with it. You feel more confident when you wear it. You don't feel like, oh, this is new. I don't know what people think because you've already tried it out. Great, great suggestion.
Yeah, communication is a big part of that, especially if you have little ones around. Have you ever seen the little boys that put on the little tiny neckties and then by the time the wedding starts, they're already pulling the necktie off and pulling off the vest. Well, that's because they haven't had a chance to get used to that kind of clothing that is not an everyday clothing. So you want to let them do dress up. And this is the same for you as an adult. If that little accessory that everybody else is wearing is going to give you a hard time, you're going to know before the event starts. I'm sorry, that's not comfortable to me. Can I do something different? You've had a chance to communicate that that's not going to work for you. And they have time to come up with that. If you do it 5 minutes before the wedding processional or the interview or whatever, you're going to find that you're going to be anxious. And that's the last thing you want to do is be anxious, because everybody's telling you have to wear it because it's part of the wedding. Well, if you say, I'm sorry, I can't, then people are going to understand. We understand. But you have to speak up. You have to be a self-advocate and know yourself. You can't say to them 5 minutes before, it's not going to work. What do you think?
Absolutely true. Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about today is the shoes and the socks. I know there are a lot of you out there who have trouble with socks. I absolutely love socks. I don't mind socks. The toe socks, you remember those toe socks?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Now there's a sock that I would not expect anyone to feel comfortable wearing because it divides up your toes. And I'm not one for that too. That goes under the idea of pantyhose stockings for me. No, thank you. But if you can find a nice fuzzy sock that gives you the compression, buy a couple of pairs so that you can wash them. If you find a pair that's nice and fuzzy and soft and gives you that Saturday morning comfortable feeling where your feet aren't cold. I'm someone who is highly has a big trouble with being cold. That's why I like my socks. Some people are like, oh, socks are not any good because my feet get too hot. Figure out what kind of sock works for you. Maybe there isn't a sock. Maybe you're a flip-flop person. For me, I'm not a flip-flop person. For those of us who are not quite as steady on our feet, flip-flops are not the answer for us. And I say that because there's a term called proprioception, where some of us don't have the motor skills. So imagine running in flip-flops. I'd have face plant. I don't know about any of you, but you have to know what kind of shoes. Again, Renee, do you wear stilettos?
I do not. No, I do not. I wear flats, and I want to say something about the socks. I think for many of you, if it has nylon in it, nylon will or rayon, anything that starts with an or ends with an N, on, that is usually something that's going to help keep moisture in. But if you use something that's natural, like cotton, 100% cotton, or even wool. I know wool, things like you would think would be hot, but not necessarily. The other thing you might want to consider, especially if you like to have your foot feel like it's comforted all the time, not with just fuzzy socks, but you can get socks that have arch supports in them or bands across the top. And that gives you a feeling of being held. So that might be a comfort for you. I have little short socks that I have that in. The other thing you might want to consider is when I have to wear certain types of clothing at work, I have socks that have a cushioned bottom on them. Okay, so if I'm going to be on my feet a lot, I have a little bit of extra cushion. So think about what you're going to be doing. And if you want to have your foot to feel like it's being hugged all the time, then you can get those ones like that. But you want to probably look for all natural fibers. Bamboo's awesome. If you can find some bamboo socks, again, but I think you'll find that if you have the more natural materials, you'll be a lot more comfortable.
I read that bamboo is an up and coming fabric, isn't it?
Yes,
I
yes.
was very surprised. One of the things that I have a love-hate relationship with is compression socks. And there again, if you're someone that's not sure if compression socks works for you, that's a great Saturday morning trial before you go anywhere. Last thing you want is to get to a store, get to an event and say, I can't wear these things anymore.
Agreed. And you were asking me about shoes. And for some of you out there, just getting them on is a struggle. But you have to realize too, if you haven't already realized this, there are shoes that you can just step into, even tennis shoes. Okay. I still call them tennis shoes, sneakers, athletic shoes, whatever you call them. Okay. But you can slide right into them and they're still closed toe, closed heel. They're just easier to get on. The other thing to think about too is when you're wearing shoes, maybe you need something that has Velcro closures instead of tying. Or but I know a lot of people like to wear those. You see them on kids and older adults a lot of times who can't tie their shoes. But for people who have sensory issues or aren't sure or just don't have the coordination that they used to have to tie the shoes, those are two options. And you can get them with memory foam in them so that they're comfy and you can walk a long ways.
Yeah. My newest pair of shoes are those sneakers that have the
Flipping,
laces that are already built in.
yes.
Just like you were saying, it's not that I can't tie my shoes anymore. It's the fact that I can't stand when my shoelaces come undone because I'm always afraid I'm going to trip and fall. So that's a great answer to someone who isn't as steady on their feet when they're walking uneven surfaces like rocks and up and down hills and things like that. Is you don't want to give yourself an opportunity to trip on your shoelaces. That wouldn't be a lot of fun. That falls under the same idea of flip-flops at times for me. So it's funny. Let's wrap up this with hats. What is an appropriate hat that someone might wear to different occasions, Renee, that isn't screaming, here I am, but isn't allows the person to have that compression on their head. Now, baseball caps are great if you're going to the ball game or to the picnic or to the beach. But is there a type of hat that they might be able to invest in if they need that without it being a beanie? I know a lot of people wear beanies, and that's not always acceptable either, is it?
Mm-hmm. Now, but beanies are very popular. The other thing that if you feel like you need something over your head and it's quasi casual, you might have a hoodie. Okay. You might just have a hoodie that you can pull up because sometimes people just don't like the wind going through their hair. They don't like to feel things on the back of their neck. And so a hoodie would help take care of that. You can get hoodies on t-shirts now. So you can have a t-shirt that has a hoodie on it. All right. So that might be an option. Baseball caps, I wear them too. I wear them on the weekends when I don't want to mess with my hair. I wear them when I just don't really want to be seen. I understand that. There's times when you just don't, you want to wear a hat and you want to look down and you don't want to be seen. I do the same thing. Okay. But as far as any other hat, hats are not extremely popular right now, for people to wear. However, if you're a hat person, then get it. I will tell you that you can get ball caps that if you are a blingy person, you like the bling and stuff, that they have, rhinestones in them or they have writing on them in a different, glittery color or something like that. If that's appropriate for what you're going to do, that's fine. It just has to be what you're comfortable with. If you're going to be out on a beach and you have light skin, you really want to wear a big floppy hat that comes down, and then you're going to get that tightness, okay? And you get this floppiness, and you can get them, like you said, that actually tie under here, okay?
That way they don't go flying and you don't have
They
to
don't
spend
go
time.
flying, exactly. I actually have a few in here on my wall. I have a wall of beach stuff, and I have about 6 hats hanging up there to kind of give my beach scene going on there. So,
Oh,
yeah,
so
but
much
that's
fun.
it is a lot of fun. you can go back and look at some of the hats that women wore in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and that just isn't what we do now, you know,
No,
for the most
it
part.
really isn't. The old English hats on the side, like if you ever saw the Wicked, she had the funny little hat on the side.
Right.
Even a female fedora might be okay. I have a favorite cowboy hat. I'm also here in Texas. I like my cowboy hat, but I wouldn't wear it to an interview or to a wedding unless it was
A
established.
Western wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think to wrap up this, it's all about taking the clothing that you feel comfortable in and knowing what kind of event you're going to.
Mhm.
Making sure it feels comfortable before you get there, not waiting until the day of to wear it. And
Mhm.
then finding out what the weather might be. Do you need an overcoat? Maybe just, if it is more casual, the jean jacket. If it's a little bit more dressy, a lab coat or a fleece jacket. Knowing how to make your clothing fit the event. And that's what Renee is here for. You can say, you can get onto a quick call with her and say, what do you think? Do you
Mhm.
think this would be okay for an interview? And just stand up. That's a 2-second thing. And Renee can say, well, I might suggest this, or why don't you try that? But she'll never do it where you have to change your whole outfit. She'll do it more in the sense that she'll take the base level and she'll say, where are you going? What
Mhm.
is the event? What kind of, in other words, as we said, a beach party is going to be a lot different than a wedding or an interview. She's going to ask you where you're going. You can stand up with an outfit and you can say to her, what do you think? And she can give you ideas on what might be appropriate. What do you think? Any final words, Renee? Would you be willing to do that for our listeners?
Absolutely. So if we would happen to get on a call, I would like for you to, maybe have 2 or 3 things right there. Like maybe have a scarf, like she said, okay, and say, well, what do you think about this scarf with this? And do you think I can wear this? I'd be happy to give you my opinion. You can do with my opinion what you want, okay? It's your final decision. I can give you some input, and we can just have fun while we're doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to Renee for being my guest today. I know that clothing quandary can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have that big sister around that says, wear this. I'll tell you, in all honesty, my girls will dress me at times. And you know what? You can say thank you. I feel more comfortable in this, or thank you. I love the idea. But showing that you care that someone is going to take their time. Like I would expect you to say thank you to Renee for taking a few moments of her time. Asking someone for their ideas on how to be most suitable with your clothing for that event is going to make you feel a lot less anxious. So I
Thank
want
you.
to say thank you to Renee. Next week, we're going to go on the inside with Tammy, and Tammy's going to help you with your actual body image and what might trigger you to overeat, undereat based on what your confidence level is. So this is a great segue between the outer image of the one you're showing to others to the inner image where you want to feel good on the inside, on your heart, so that you're not getting into the bad habits. But for now, I want to say thank you to Renee for coming. Thank you all for coming to the Ashby Bridge, and I hope you'll come back next week. Have a great day.
Bye.